complaints to permits to results. Join Audit and Miriam every Thursday. This is Double Degraded.
Welcome to Double Degraded with Audit LA and Miriam. Double the truth, double the trouble. Welcome to Double Degraded with Audit LA and Miriam. Your weekly report, the story stated, shining a light.
Welcome everyone to Double Degraded episode 7, where myself, Scientology up north, and my co-host Audit LA, we expose the abuses in Scientology and the crimes that they commit, and try to hold them accountable for that while we go along. So welcome everyone in the chat, and good to see you, Audit. It's been a
Good
week.
to see you too. I know it's been an amazing 7 week. We're in our 7th week. That's amazing.
Yes.
Hi to everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us in this venture. Last minute, we said, I think it was a Monday, Miriam suggested this, and by Thursday we were up and running with week 1. So it's like so it's been great.
Exactly. And because it's our show, we're allowed to do whatever we want, which is amazing. And we can brainstorm together. We can have guests that we want to have on. We can talk about the topics we want to talk about. And Audit actually came up with the idea to kind of refresh and discuss about how to move on with this project that has been kind of on the sidelines now for a little while. So first, I would like to bring on stage our advocate and warrior lady from Michigan, right? If I remember correctly, Michigan. Yes, I'm not good with my states, but yeah, our warrior queen, Fat Grammy, also known as Mona.
Hey, Mona. We're so glad you're here today with us.
Yeah.
In Michigan for the time being, just still trying to get ready to move. So it's been kind of crazy for that, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to move a state as well, or?
Yes, I am leaving the state. Just the house and the presence here. I don't need to be here anymore. Mom passed, Dad's passed, and it would be easier not to have a house that I have to take care of. So just trying to make life a little bit easier as this fat Grammy starts to age a little bit.
And here we are trying to put you back to work. It's like,
exactly.
What kind of friends are we?
Yeah, we've been missing you a lot.
Yes.
When you're doing it with passion, it's not necessarily work, right?
Right.
True.
And we want to get back to, back to what you were doing, or at least discussing, because there's maybe new people who have joined us. And so we kind of want to talk to them. If you can update us on all the work you did and where we left off, like where things stand then, and even now, if you can update people as if they've never heard this before. Can you explain it to everyone?
Basically where the project started and kind of what steps were taken and what is the status now.
Sure. Well, originally we had seen the podcast with Ann Thornton and Kimberly DeGonia. They were with the Mormon podcast about the Mormon lawsuit that was happening, and how similar it was to what people in Scientology were going through, really, with the hiding of abuses and the cover-ups and everything. And so I reached out to them, to Kimberly DeGonia and to Ann Thornton, and asked them if they would be interested, and really wrote a case proposal. Now, saying that, fortunately, I'm not an ex-Scientologist. I'm not a person with these abuses. And so having to start a case would mean that we would have to have people step up that were in the situations of being either abused or ex-Scientologists that knew of the cover-ups and knew of the instances, especially with sexual abuse. And so after writing that case, I know Audit, Michael, and Serge and I had meetings with them, and we had a podcast, we had a stream where we talked to them, and they invited people to present cases to them. Now, since then, it just seems like it's been forever in some instances, huh? And
Yes.
just yesterday, but it has been a while. And I know they're still taking litigation, they're still taking ongoing cases and claims. But what they have run up against has been statute of limitations and the time of reporting. I know many people have reported and have filed claims with them, and these would be civil claims, not criminal. So to get an update with them, I know I've called her a couple of times, and they're still taking cases. They're still working on the Mormon case. So that hasn't been resolved yet. This is not to get people disheartened whatsoever, but it takes a long time to get these civil claims going.
Yes.
It takes a long time. And I know one of the that Kimberly and I talked about several times was that, as I said, if I were to file a claim or a case, it would get thrown out just right out of face value, because you have to be the injured party. You have to have standing in order to file in our US courts. So I have to be the person that was injured or had cause to do it. But I know they're still working very hard. They're still working within the claims that they do have. Couple of things I know: it's no longer Andrews and Thornton; it's Andrews and Higgins,
Mm-hmm.
a new partner in her firm. And I'm going to approach the number real quick here, because I want to say this a couple of times throughout the course. It's 800-664-1734. And they mostly take abuse claims, as in sexual abuse claims, but they do take cases of clergy issues. So they're a great. And if you don't mind, let me back up just a little bit. The difference
Yes.
between the civil and the criminal, because this law firm was looking at a civil litigation, to where I know we worked a long time on the criminal side of it, right? Audit. I mean, this is just something that it's day in and day out. And Lara has reported. We've worked a lot with the police chief, Los Angeles chief. We've worked with the FBI, and just trying to get that information out there to where criminal cases could be sought. And in those cases, not trying to make, as I said, dishearten anybody, but the statute of limitations comes into play. And one of the issues that we've found is that the statute of limitations either starts when the abuse and the criminal activity happens, or two, when you, as a person that's been abused, find out I was abused. So those statute of limitations could be years and years apart. And you could still be in your statute of limitations if you're just now finding out that that was really criminal activity.
And I could see that happening, not to jump in, but when you're raised in like a cult atmosphere and they're telling you this is normal, this is okay, this is something we handle, I can see people coming out of that and not really understanding the legal implications of that. And then I believe we're also, if you want to answer on this, that we're dealing with statute of limitations, but we're also dealing with the privacy factor. So whatever LAPD is working on, whatever these lawyers are working on, they can't discuss it with us because we're not the victims. And so it could be way ahead of where we think they are, or way beyond. We don't know because of the confidentiality factor. But do you have any more to say on that and your thoughts on that?
No, that is true. The privacy factor plays a huge role. And they would have no need or want to call me and let me know what's happening with the cases, because I'm not a person of standing. I'm not a person involved with it. And that's not my right to know what's happening. They can wink, wink, tell me what's going on, maybe in general, but not case by case. And I respect that. If I were trying to file a civil or a criminal case, I wouldn't want a lawyer or a police chief or anybody else talking about my business.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm totally agree with it's good information. First of all, I just want to point out Peter has been so lovely. He has put the email address and the phone number. So if you have been victimized by Scientology, please call them. Find out if you actually have a case. And
can I add something to that too? It's like, don't say, oh, I'm just assuming that the statute of limitations are, over with, because I will say that, I know in one of the cases with talking to the police, they said that they are willing to look at everything. And if they can find something, maybe something can go to a different state that they can talk to, something may be able to go federal, so there's that, tell them everything, at least try. And then also put it on record with them, because sometimes they get look back laws or different things can happen. Things change so quickly. So don't let that, this was years ago. Don't let that intimidate you. If you've been victimized, the worst they can do is say, okay, don't have standing, but you know what? We have it on record. If something changes, we are there, or they can work with the police and try to see what they can do. So never give up. Just push through, because Mona did a lot of work to get. It was an amazing amount of work. And
absolutely. And
yes,
I just want
to throw that away.
Yeah, and I just want to add, as being besides someone who has been trying to recover from the abuses of Scientology, while I have known them, firstly, when you have been victimized by Scientology or any other type of coercive control, you first only realize the most outrageous things that have happened to you, and in time you start to realize that, okay, this was abuse actually, and this was a crime committed against me, because you are so conditioned when you are in a group like that you might not even realize that the people have actually broken law and victimized you, and it only comes in time with the realization how none of it is okay and none of it is normal. So I just want to encourage everyone to just if you feel that you have a bone to pick with Scientology, they have committed a crime and you want to seek justice, then just pick up the phone. You will not lose anything. You only have something to gain.
Not at all. I'm not going to give out a name because I'll respect the privacy or names, but there's been several people that have reported to Andrews and Thornton at the time, Andrews and Higgins now, because one, it was the right thing to do, but two, wow, it was so cleansing for them to get that information out there for somebody to hear, somebody that could possibly do something, whether or not the statute of limitations was breached or not. It was so cathartic for them to just be able to tell their story and get off the chest. And
what about patterns? Even if it's the statute of limitations, when they start saying, okay, it's not 1, 2, 3, but it's 200 stories, all the same allegations, that at the very minimum could instigate some kind of investigation into what is going on now and finding current victims. You just never know where it's going to lead. It's important to build that footprint and blueprint to
Yeah.
let everyone know what the patterns are.
Exactly. You're 100% right. And the patterns are important. And that really that helps with the criminal investigation part of it too. Civil is more personal, case by case, but the criminal is, we have talked in the past about going to the FBI about, and what the FBI said. The FBI said, okay, this is how we need to do this. Is you being the person that was abused or has a criminal offense against you, you need to go to your local law enforcement, the local FBI center, and then they will coordinate with, I'm sorry, my dog is having a cow. And they will coordinate with the different branches of the FBI in order to get the investigation going. And that's time and time again. Go lay down.
She wants attention.
Yes.
She wants water. Yeah. So that way she can drink like a horse while I'm on the stream. Um, that's the recommendation. And at first I was offended by that. What do you mean? What do you mean they have to go to their local places? Why can't you just start a case? Why can't you just start an investigation? And I guess maybe I was naive about how these things actually work. And it's true. You do. If let's say it was Nora and Nora went to her FBI, she would go to a local institution, a local FBI office. They would start the process. They would then consult with and coordinate with LA or Florida or wherever else happens to be. So that's what they need to do, is they need to go to their local FBI office, which actually that's kind of convenient. So you don't have to travel state by state in order to go do that. But that's what you need to do.
And speaking on that, like basically, if there's somebody that wants to do that and they feel nervous or scared, they could reach out to any of us right here on this panel, and we would help guide them. We would help, be their like advocate, be an advocate for them, right?
Absolutely.
So, maybe Peter's doing the email addresses. Like anyone could reach out to us. And I also wanted to add the other fact that what if there's somebody in Scientology who's currently there who wants to be a whistleblower. And also the thing I want to talk about, the people who are mandated reporters and they're not reporting. Like there's so many different avenues that this stuff can be touched upon. Federal with the R1 visa, like there's so many levels. I know we're starting small today, but just kind of put that out there. I just want to put that out there that this can grow beyond just whether or not you were sexually abused in that system.
Exactly. And I know parts that we've talked about before is that, maybe going after Scientology isn't the best avenue. We've talked in the past about the government, when we went to the FBI and the Department of Justice's internal organization, kind of like their OIG. The Department of Justice has an OIG, and specifically saying, look, you didn't protect us. The Department of Justice failed to protect us. And so going after those governmental units that are falling down on their jobs. We've written things, we have information behind the scenes that people can use. So if that in your brain goes, oh, really, that would be a good idea, give us a shout. We have stuff that we've already researched, reported on, looked at. Again, why don't I file it? Because I'm not the injured. And in the United States, you have to be the injured party in order to do anything. So
And California has very strong child protective laws as is, and I know there's laws that are being violated daily. And like, these are things we really need to get up and running again. And, to the next step, they need to reach out to Mona and just have that brainstorm session, right? Would you be willing? I know you're really busy right now, but if anyone wants to reach out and just say, hey, this is maybe I don't want to give all the details or stuff, but I'd like to brainstorm or see where I could go. Like, you'd be willing to, I know you'd be willing to walk with anyone and advocate with them and for them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you
And
so
she's very
much.
knowledgeable about these,
Yes.
about this, because she's done all this research. So we need to just really get people to read, because it's been a while. Another invitation out there for people, maybe, or if you know someone that got out of Scientology, and it doesn't even just have to be Sea Org. It's like, it could just be any Scientologist, right? Like, really, at the end of the day, we focus more on Sea Org than anything else. But if there's some kind of abuse or anything going on outside of Sea Org, the purification rundown, anything like that, reach out.
Absolutely. And we know that the LAPD also has our ear. So if you are in Scientology currently, or you have just left Scientology, I'm sure they'll be happy to receive any kind of information if there's anything unlawful that you have witnessed.
Yes,
So
we would love whistleblowers. Like, we would love that.
absolutely,
Really, and that's what
absolutely.
they're saying. We really need people who have come out within the past like 2 to 3 years, within, and who can talk about it and what's
Yeah.
going on. So really, like, that's what I do when I see Jennifer Krosskopf, any of them. Hey, come on, even Mox, like, come out and speak up, and you could really help a lot of people, and kind of I don't know if it atones for all that you've done, but you could help make things a better day for the people who are suffering, who have suffered and are currently suffering in this organization.
Absolutely. And I want to, give praise to Amir, who has left in Scotland this year. And anyone concerned about leaving Scientology should look into how much support he has received from his peer, from survivors, from the foundation, and actually how much press they have managed to receive. An undercover investigative report published on Times in UK, one of the most serious newspapers in the country, that it is possible to leave, and it's possible to have support for recovery as well. So it's not just that we want to get information. We are also here to support.
Yes. And it needs to go to the media. I'm hoping the mainstream media starts picking up this more, because that's, maybe if other media outlets here would see what's going on, there, maybe they'll be more likely to look into it. Because that's what, imagine if you got into the more articles in the LA Times, New York Times, whatever, Washington Post, it would make a huge difference. Because then it seems like a lot of people, they kind of turn a deaf ear, because it's all kind of independent. But once it hits the mainstream, people start listening. Okay, what's going on here? And that's what we need. And not just for the running through. Yeah, that made the media. We need the real story to go through the media, not just these, the run throughs and stuff.
The little white stories, other than just the run through. Yeah, and I feel that as a group, as the next Scientology, or group, not group, whatever you want to call us, the justice and the advocacy is really where we've been, instead of all of the fighting and bashing and talking about one another. That's not what we're here for whatsoever. And that's why I'm staying hidden lately, is because I have a job to do, trying to get justice for those that were abused, that were.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I think maybe she got a call. We cannot hear you. No sound. No sound. No sound, Mona. We cannot hear you.
Oh, and I just said something really awesome too.
Say
so
it
you better have to
again.
repeat it.
No, I had somebody trying to chime in on a phone call, darn phone calls. I was just saying that the justice and advocacy is our main goal. Just
Mm,
those we're psychologists that have come out of the cult, and advocacy for those little kids, those 5-year-old little girls right now, and the 5-year-old little boys right now that are going through the same thing. I just can't imagine in 10 years, 15 years when they're out of the cult and they say, "Why didn't you fight for me?" And we're saying, "We did. We did
mm,
we did advocate for you." But where would be my head if I said, "That's not my problem.
mm,
Don't see nothing. Don't do nothing.
mm,
That's just not me." I don't want to deal with that. I want to know that I that my powers, my brainy around, but
okay. Sound issues again.
again,
Yes. It's cutting off just a little bit.
can you hear me?
In and out.
Yeah.
It's someday I'll be living in a metropolis where I have sound issues on my internet.
Yeah. I
I know.
think
Well,
you're
I
more
get
or less
calls
back
too. I
now.
always, as it always a call, I'll get these random calls during these times, and
Yeah.
Oh, and I know we're going to talk about the website. One of the reasons we took the name down, can you hear me now,
it's going in and out.
is, I'm sorry, let me see.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. Maybe you can put do not disturb. I don't know if you have that one on.
Well, I just turned it off, so there's nothing
Hmm.
coming
Oh,
through.
now we can hear you.
Yeah, loud and clear.
There, I changed it. Um, to discuss for the website, I know we're going to have Haggis on and we're going to talk about the website.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason we took Andrews and Higgins, Andrews and Thornton, Andrews and Higgins name off from there is because California has this lovely little law that attorneys and law firms are not allowed to solicit cases, and they can get shut down on a dime.
Wow.
And so they were concerned that having their names on the website would look like they were potentially fishing for cases, and which was not the case whatsoever. We were just so proud and so happy to have them on board. But that's why we took them off the website. And there is a space in there saying, if you're interested or if you have information, contact the website person and they will get you in contact with them and give you the information. But we had to do it so that way they didn't get sued. And we know how sue happy Scientology is. We didn't want to give them any room whatsoever to take this down.
Yeah. I think this is actually a great segue to introduce Haggis, our fellow activist and protester and the creator of the website, because basically you've worked on this project for such a long time. There was a lot of information out, and I think we were lacking a proper channel to have it all and have clear steps on what you can do, and give more support for the people trying to now I lost the words, but to receive justice and how to move forward with FBI and so forth. And there comes Haggis Basher creating a
Haggis,
website. Welcome. Yeah,
Yes.
shake those boobies.
I love it.
Hello.
Hello. And you can basically tell your part of the story. What happened? How this website became to be.
Especially for
Well-
anyone that has not heard the story, like for the new people who are following us, because I know there's somebody new following what's going on here. And So we had to update people who are new to the
Yes.
cause.
Yes.
Yeah. It started when Poe on the Go had this lady who kept coming on his channel, and I was watching, and when they were discussing Scientology stuff, and she had the right things to say, and I could tell her heart was in the right direction. And then I started following Mona on her channel when she started doing Morning Sunshines. And it was a great place, and all of those who are still with us in the chats on a regular basis know what it was like in the morning sunshines with Mona. There was a lot of thought processing, a lot of input from people, idea bounces, and we discuss things and talk about the cases and how do we help, and are you here for the right reasons, and do you want to be an activist, or are you just part of the crowd, and help out. And then one day we were talking about how do victims find resources to take the next step. Now we do have the Aftermath Foundation, who has their own big website with all of the things that they do for victims once they come out of. It's not necessarily about building lawsuits and getting crimes that have been committed against you taken care of. It's about rebuilding your life financially with a job, support, building a community for yourself. This is more about finding help for you to get justice for crimes that were committed against you. And it was all because Mona was talking about it would be nice to have a place where people could go. And I was like, well, we'll make a website. Like, why don't we just try and pull together and make a website? So I started working on it with input from Mona, with input from T, helped me gather a whole bunch of resources for different states. That's still a work in progress. And we have quite a lot. Be nice to have more. And then just putting together, like originally we did have the law firm on the website. But like Mona said, we took it off, and if somebody needs to reach out, they can just click on the link and it'll allow them to send an email to me, and then I can forward that information on to the people that can help. And then, I thought, let's put on some of the cases so that people know that there are people already suing, and that there's cases open already, and that they're not alone. And then it was more like, and here's people who are not even Scientologists who are advocating for you to try and help you understand that, there's a world beyond coercive control and mind fuckery. Excuse the language, but that's basically what it is. And that you can have and rebuild your life. So you can come to this website and get information and do something in order to get either a civil or a criminal case for the abuses that you've suffered. And then, like I said, you can go see somebody like the Aftermath Foundation to get financial support. I think they also offer approaches for counseling and decultifying your life and growth. And so we found all these advocates like Miriam and Audit and Fat Grammy and Irish and Alex. There's an abundance. So we put that on the website. We put on the cases, the cases that are currently open. I found the statutes and some of the documents, so I put them there that kind of outlines the cases. And T put together this little booklet, and we were all talking about it one day. And I said, that's actually a lovely little approach. We should put that on the website if you're okay with that. So I put a little thing that she had. And then I reached out to people who we know are victims. and I got them to share their stories. And I've talked to a few more since, and we've got some lovely women who have recently all come out in the public, who either grew up or as an adult through trauma found Scientology, then found life after Scientology, and they said, absolutely, I would love to be on your website. And because I want people, if they come to this website, to go and find these other people and see the life that they have found for themselves, and listen to it. Like Anne Gollert Hill is currently on TikTok.
Yeah.
Anne Gollert Hill worked in management, and she dealt directly with some of the people who were in charge of inflicting abuses and making decisions about abuses. And she has a TikTok that every day she tells a story, and she explains a Scientology or a word in Scientology or gaslighting in Scientology. I think her approach is incredible. Danielle Chamberlain, currently, the Daily Mail just did an article on her. She was a child who was raised and abused in Scientology, was a true victim of the family disconnection. When her father, apparently had just gone in for the medical psychology side of things to do an investigation on Scientology, and her mother stayed and her dad got kicked out, right? So there's that. And then there's people who've written books. So my next step, I'm going to actually gather the publications of everybody, like Robert Dam, Jamie Mustard, Janice Gillan Grady, all of the people who have written books that explain what Scientology is. Even Jesse Prince. Jesse Prince's book outlines everything. He's not necessarily a victim, but it's a really good publication for people to read and understand what goes on behind closed doors. But I want to put the publications on there so people can go and find a good resource. So it'd be great. I have quite a few of the books. It would be great if we could source more books that I am not aware of that you guys maybe are, and we can add a page of publications. So that, anyway, so that's how it all came about. I find the time and I update it. If anybody can, think of other things that would be helpful to victims, send me an email, send me suggestions. And if it doesn't meet the criteria that we're kind of trying to build, I'll let you know. And if it does, then amazing. And you will get the credit for it when we put things together. So yeah, that was it. That was, and I just thought we need a resource. Mona did a lot of talking. Mona put a lot of ideas in people's brains. Mona push. And then we have the likes of yourself, Audit, and Miriam, who are out there regularly. Even, Miriam, with your full-time job, you still manage to get out there, even if they try and abuse you in the middle of the street.
Are you trying to say I'm a victim of Scientology?
Yeah, I think we all are at this point.
Yeah, I think you're a victim of the Scientology realtor. Can
I ask, I want to jump in and say, first of all, I'm impressed with being able to even build a website. I tried doing that because I wanted a website to put all my CPRA requests and all that stuff, because people may need them, or want them or see them. And I'm like, I'm like, no, I don't know how she does this. But so thank you for doing that. I know that's not an easy undertaking to do it, like that. So, and I love you I love that, Anne, because that's true. I saw Anne on TikTok and I interacted with her a little bit, but I think TikTok is a great way to, because I have a feeling when people come out, they're going to maybe tell their story on TikTok before anywhere else, because it's kind of easy and it's kind of the thing to do now. But even Scientology is on TikTok. And at first I was like, yeah, we can educate the thing, but you know what? We could go into these videos that Scientology is putting out and say, hey, if, like we should be putting your website out there. If you want to get out, here's a great way to link up with people who can help you.
And it's funny because I will often, when they do TikToks and they're full of garbage and gaslighting, I will tag the likes of, hey, if you want to hear the truth about Scientology, go to Nora, Liz, Anne, Pamela, Danielle, Alex, Tori. Go click on these. Lara, go click on these, and then you will see the truth about what happened to people in Scientology. That's what I do.
I love it.
They tried to block me.
That.
Yeah, they tried to block me and stuff like that, and I challenged it, and the comments got stuck back in again. So
I'm amazed I'm not blocked yet. I am on Twitter with a bunch of stuff, but I'm amazed that TikTok it hasn't. But yeah, it's true. We can even, because I know even Twilla's on there. Hey, Twilla, come on, we're here for you. Like, call this number, stuff like that. Now, do you ever see like a foundation coming someday? And I'm not saying you have to do this on your own. I'm not trying to put more of a job on you. No. But, there, like we have this one foundation, like you said, it helps them with getting out, getting their lives on. But I wonder if they're, put that out there for anyone who might want to take that undertaking for a foundation sometime that could help with the legal. Because I've been saying this. I think the biggest next step that we need to do is either, you don't need to get to pay anyone to go against them for criminal, that the state takes care of that. But lawsuits, we have numerous. There's 6 now active lawsuits against Scientology. Would love to get that to be 10, but sometimes you have attorneys willing to do it, but it's very expensive. So maybe if somebody out there is thinking that, maybe they would like to do a foundation to help support that. Eventually.
I think there's also a fear in the legal field that Scientology is just going to come after you, the way they do everything, right? Attack, never defend. I think there is also that where some law firms aren't willing to take on the cases because they know it could get stuck in litigation for years. Look at Valerie Haney. Arbitration's supposed to be a couple of weeks or at most, and yet she's been stuck in arbitration with her abusers forever. Absolutely forever.
You're not going to get free attorneys, but like attorneys where they're paid, they might be more willing. So there may be a foundation somewhere where we can get the funds together to help generate really solid lawsuits against them. Maybe the lawyers are getting more and more of these as there's getting more cases on the records. There may be more attorneys who are they're not so afraid anymore.
And then like bringing up the arbitration thing, I think that there's something to be said for maybe it's time to look into stopping religious arbitration, because these people are victims of the abuses of these organizations, pretend religions, cults, or whatever they may be. And there's got to be protections for those victims when they're not allowed to go in with lawyers. Like Valerie's not allowed to have a lawyer present while she's going through the arbitration in Scientology. So there has to be some protections, because we know behind those closed doors, she's being interrogated by multiple people. And that's not right. You're being abused by your abuser while trying to hold your abuser accountable for the abuses.
So we need policymaker. We need people willing to fight policy and fighting for laws. That's what I mean. Like even like some kind of financial situation where there's help to do all that, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take policy and law changes and lawsuits.
Yeah, I think instead of like currently you've got people. Sorry, this little political splash, but there's people trying to make combine the state and religion again, right? Where the Constitution of the states says keep them separate, but right now there's just this whole fundamental drive to try and bring that all together so they can control the masses. And I'm sorry, but when we look at the harms and stuff like that, going all the way back to like the Spanish Inquisition and all that stuff, right? It's there's harm in every religion. It's not, it's not specific. In this particular case, maybe it's time that countries look to other countries and why they see things like Scientology as abusive organizations, like Germany finds that completely unconstitutional. And, like Denmark, it's just an organization. Canada, organization. Many countries don't perceive them as anything but harmful. So,
But then again,
why?
also the determination was made by IRS, so you can,
Yeah,
draw your
that's
conclusions out of that.
again,
That
yeah,
yeah,
policy writing, right?
yeah. I
So,
wanted to show the page also, because now we've been talking about it. I can see it's on your background, but we were talking about what to do. Like, we can go through basically all the different
Yeah, I think it's good to see it. It's really,
yeah,
you put a
but
lot of work into this.
absolutely. But this was the first one, correct?
yeah,
Who contact if you have been victimized?
and
And okay,
and
so
with
there's some
yeah,
information that Lara and Mona. Yeah.
yeah, so just for information of anybody who hasn't been in the sphere for since the beginning, Lara and Mona, once it had been discussed long before the website, had conversations.
And Lara
Um,
is a child growing up in Scientology, so
yeah,
she is.
she was born and raised in Scientology and escaped as a teenager, but they had several discussions talking about means of how to try, because there are people who are under the radar and stuff like that who pay attention to some of the former Scientologists who are on YouTube and such. So I put the videos there just so that people could go and watch them talk about it. And so this is just how you get in touch. There's hyperlinks to click on. There's previous cases. There's a case of the forced human trafficking for labor in Kansas that was actually the United Nations of Islam, which is a very similar situation to what's going on in Scientology. So there's that as a prerequisite kind of situation. And then just phone numbers, like Mona said, you go to your local, you make a report, you follow up on the report. And all of the links are here, and the laws that govern these situations too.
Yes. So basically, you can go ahead and take action yourself, but if you need support, we are here also to help.
Yeah.
And you can be contacted via the website.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give my concurrence and my adoration about this website that you put together. Haggis, it's a beautiful website, and it's very informative, and it's succinct. It's just clear cut. Thank you so much for all your hard work on that.
Thank
It's a
you.
definite gift to our community. So thank you.
Yes. And we need to remember to put it out, because that was my commitment from start. But it feels like there's things happening all the time. I need to make a list of all these links so I remember to share it every single time that I go
And
live.
I got input from, once again, from Mona. If you click on what are the crimes, it has a list of everything that has happened. Because I don't know if you guys remember, Mona was doing a survey with the victims and survivors of Scientology, and she put together an actual stat list of all the information and put together this list of what the actual crimes are. And it's a long list.
No, it's really well done.
And that list is very representative of actual abuses, actual crimes. They're not, oh, this may have happened to so-and-so. These were reported abuses and crimes.
Yeah, I could name names, after every single crime over here.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I encourage anyone who has left Scientology, who feels brave enough to share their story, to email it to me. I don't change what you say. I don't edit what you say. I just use your words and put it up. Like there's no fear that I'm gonna make it pretty. I'm not changing the thing. Your story is your story to tell, and you tell it the way you want to tell it, and I will put it on the website. And it's about letting other people see that they're not alone.
yes, if there's anyone in the audience that has questions, just type questions before your comment, then I will pick it up later. I wanted to ask Mona, because there's been a lot of talk about elderly abuse. What if there is a family member out from Scientology who is, for example, suspecting that their parent is victim of some of the crimes mentioned on this list? Is there something they can do?
Well, because they are over the age of 18, not really, except for you can, as a family member, ask for a wellness check for whatever region. Like if it's LA, call the LAPD or the sheriff's office and say, I'd like to have a wellness check on my elderly person. Now, if they're over the age of, I believe, 65, it could be elder abuse, or if the person isn't all in their right mental faculty,
Yes.
then it could be just like child abuse,
Yeah.
except for it'd be elder abuse. But that's, you'd have to know their mental capacity in order to do that. But that's where I think it would start for a wellness check.
Yeah.
And Lara's been pushing that at the police academy. She's really pushing that, and I think it's a good idea. I wish more family, and they're getting afraid right now. They're putting out a lot of privacy strikes, and they don't want their people seen. But we need to get the faces out there, because maybe a family member will say, "Oh, that's my family member," especially if an elderly person or someone not looking well, and saying, "Hey, we want," because it has to be the family member. We can't do it. It has to have somebody with, again, standing. And so I think that's a really great point, Mona.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone, coming to being middle-aged, having elderly, grandparents or parents, we know that things happen and they can happen quickly. And there has been examples where, without quick action, for example, Rosemary Chipwak could have passed away. So it's important.
And how many people were in the same position as Rosemary who never made it out, never had somebody caring for them, and then there's the case of Liz Ferris, who thought her dad was dead for 20 years. Because Scientology told her that he was dead, and then she finds out he's still alive and working on one of their bases as a slave.
There's the concern about their medical units too, because they don't want anyone passing on the base. So there's a building, the medical building, a few blocks away from Blue, but then, where Rosemary was like some kind of medical halfway house in Glendale. That's not even Scientology. They're not even Scientologists that run it. But so, they're dispersing people and hiding people. And that's a scary thought. So I would really love to see loved ones come forward and,
yes.
Yeah.
So loved ones could even come reach out to you, right? Like, maybe, like if you is like a call to family members. If you're watching any of our videos and you see your family member, can they reach out to you too? I guess, and just.
Yeah. I mean, I can only pass them on to people that can, maybe like local police and stuff like that. Right. But that's what I was saying. Like, what I would like to see happen with the website is, like in Denmark, right? In Denmark, there's resources and stuff that can help. Right now the focus was on the US because you can file FBI cases, right? But I would like to put resources and grow it so that there's resources in the UK. I know there's a few places that Alex has been dealing with that are victim support networks to do with religion and stuff like that. There's our lovely Jeff Beaumont, who was a regular streamer up here in Canada doing great information. Because Rain, that first click, that has that's a really good organization that helps victims of abuses and stuff like that, right? It's got nothing to do with
and they work on
Scientology or anything
national
like
level
that.
in the US. They are the largest organization supporting victims of sexual crimes.
Yeah.
So
So
people come across like an agency or something that may help, and if they don't find it there, they can also reach out to you and say, "Have you considered this?" You know, like
absolutely,
the public, they
and
can
I
help
will
you.
add it. I will add it, and like I said, like we have these things listed by state, because from state to state, and not only is it things to help you, it's like how to find a driver's license, how to find a job, how to find a place to live, resources like that, right? Well, I love that, Kelly.
I wanted to bring it up that Aftermath Foundation has section on their website where loved ones can leave messages reaching out to the people inside.
We read them at the Father's Day protest. We did read those, and then that's very powerful. But so this is going to grow and grow. That's how I see, right? And then we need to get the energy going again, and because there's some like there could be a new agency or new anything that could help, or the laws, because like lawsuits happen. Anything could be like a new lawsuit can come tomorrow. So it's always good to just keep it as a growing thing and get this back in the corporate consciousness of our community and embrace it and say we need to get this to where we can really get it to where it needs to go, and that's survivor.
And
absolutely.
That's
and I just wanted to point out that there is a list of resources under each of the states, but it's opening another pane on my browser, so that's why I cannot show you, but there is information. If you just push out the name of the state, you will get some information there.
What I was going to say is we have a lot of people out there who are always wondering, well, maybe they just don't have the time or constant availability to be doing stuff, right? But they might have suggestions. They might have suggestions of, oh, I know this cult awareness group, I know this victim support network, I know a group that handles sex and human trafficking victims and stuff like that. That's what we need to put on this. So if you know of these things in your community, in your state, send them to me. I will add them to the website. I will update my resources, because some of the ever since we put some stuff on the website and then suddenly the links disappear. So I sometimes have to go through and click and see if everything's valid. And if you go in and you click on something and it's coming up blank, let me know, because like I said, things come and go sometimes.
Maybe like a tip line is so. Now, would you want like a tip line? Like, how would you want people and thank you style audit? I love any information. People who are sometimes they say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sending you all this, I'm sending you info. I'm like, send it. Cause I save it all and you never know where that is going to come in handy for, it just is a collection. But now how can people say if they have, okay, we have tips. Do you prefer an email? Is there a link?
No, there's actually a page on the, if you go to Survivor Stories, I believe.
Let's see.
So there's ads. She's really interesting.
So here.
So there, it takes you to my email, and you can send me an email. So you can contact me completely through there.
But now would people say if they say, well, I'm not a survivor, but I have some good tips, I have some good info.
That's what the email is set up for. It's set
Okay.
up for victims to reach out, and it's set up for information.
And let me further that, and I'm going to give kudos because this is an incredible example. Lara, we all talked with Lara about, well, why don't you want to get your GED? You were abused horrifically on lack of education. You were denied your right to be educated. And so she's been going through, and she's publicly putting on her streaming, her studying for her GED test. I think it's a Jacob Harkey's been helping her.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
So impressive.
the community came together. I'm going to shout out two people. I'm busting your chops. Kathy and Peter, you've been helping Lara also with her studying of her GED. And oh my gosh, what a way. If you can't help financially, or if you can't help by doing lawsuits or whatever the case may be, that's a need. Just helping other people do the basics of life like that, studying for a GED. How awesome is that? I am so proud of her, and I'm so proud that Kathy and Jacob and Peter stepped up to help Lara with that.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
kudos
that's
to all you, and
brilliant.
thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely
helping them
brilliant.
get there, because Laura's like, shout out to Laura. She's just become an amazing. I mean, she's always been an amazing protester advocate, but she's just really, really finding her voice, and I'm just so proud of just how all that's going now. She's taking the next steps to say, hey, I deserve my GED and whatever's next. She always knew she did, but the fact that she's, doing it, I had to give her that shout out. So proud of her.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
love
it's
to Lara.
amazing. She is gaining confidence day by day, and growing as a human being in front of us. It's
Yeah,
it's
and that's
really
a
a
good,
joy to see.
like, for everyone else to see and watch and say, okay, I can do that too. You know what I mean? So I love it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
got to shout out my girl.
Yeah. So here we have a lot of the survivor stories, and
And
yeah, it's
this
definitely worth reading.
Yes.
Amber Van Ass, like when I think it was Nora, me and Mona went on Nora, and Nora did a live talking about and introducing the website once it went live, and Amber reached out to me that day. Right, I got an email that day from Amber, and she sent me her little story, and then she did an interview with Tori, which was heart-wrenching. And I put a link to that as well. So anybody wants a more in-depth look at Amber's story, it's there. And I've included all the socials for all the people where they're telling their stories, and and it's hard. It's hard to read and listen to some of these people's stories, but and Anne Gollert Hill has a book at the editor right now telling her story. So that'll be another one to look to. But yeah, if anybody out there knows of any books other than the standard ones, we've Jenna Miscavige, Jamie Mustard, Robert Dam, Liz Gale, those ones we're aware of. But if there's other ones, I've got the Commodore's Messenger. I think there was The Bad Cadet. Was that a book as well by one of the people? I haven't got that one. I need to get that. But I want to put a collection of all of these people's words on the website, so everybody has access to a link. I might even put links to different countries that you can find them and stuff like that. But it'd be nice to gather the information first of those who have written, so people can read it.
Yeah. That's
what about
it's
Substacks or
Catherine.
like blogs? Not just, I don't mean like YouTube videos, but like actually written, worded. Because some people I know, like Serge was having a Substack. He hasn't written a book yet, but
I didn't know Serge had a Substack.
He does, yeah. So maybe we could get those together with that, because it's written. It's not like just a video.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And also, I want to
the
thank
book was the book was Catherine Spellino. the bad
Catherine
cadet,
Spleen.
actually.
Okay, yeah,
And Leah Remini's book, of course, I think that's one of the biggest books, the Troublemaker. So
We need to get
Yeah.
you a list. But I also, you know, because you mentioned Nora, I want to thank Nora too, because Nora's always been a very willing spirit in helping us. You know, whether it's calling and there's times I said, I really need, I need your story. Like, can you please? And she does. She will call, go to meetings and stuff like that. So I want to thank, you know, give her a shout out too, and thank her for what she's helped us behind, you know, a lot of it
Yeah.
behind the scenes or announcing what we're doing and promoting it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
that's
Nora
Kelly.
is a great support for
Mhm.
everyone, and it's,
Yeah, and Kelly has just said, you know, Mark Headley. Nora told me that Mark Headley's book is really good, so I definitely would put that on my list. I need to order
Yes.
that book because
And Mitch
I want
Brisker
to.
has a book, right? And then
yes,
Yeah, Mitch Brisker has a
yeah, I have
book.
to get all of them because I would love to see the library of them, and you know, we can. I would like to see the collection.
yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
that's why I'm saying if you know of a book that I don't have, well, The Unbreakable Miss Lovely, that was written by what's his name? Oh shoot. Why is his name just slipped out of my brain? The news reporter that's been writing about Scientology for decades, and I've just
Tony
forgot his name.
Ortega, or
Thank you. That
Yeah.
was Tony Ortega writing about Paulette Cooper because Scientology, as part of her settlement with Scientology, they got the rights to her book. So she could no longer publish her book anymore. So he wrote The Unbreakable Miss Lovely. So it's not necessarily a Scientology victim story, but it's a story about somebody victimized by Scientology for, you know, opening up and publicizing the harms that they do. I'm more about educating people who are trying to escape, to let them know that it's okay. There are other people out there who've gone through the same harms, and highlighting the harms so that they realize that that's a harm, and then go, geez. Hence why I thought it was a great idea to get the list of the crimes from Mona.
Yes.
Great
That
idea.
would be a great addition to the website, would be a list of books.
Yeah.
Written by ex-Scientologists or people. Yeah.
Well,
that would be
that's what I want. I want to do a
Mm.
publications page
Yes.
strictly about.
And speaking of Tony Ortega, I know he's not a former Scientologist, but boy, I have learned a lot about, you know, you go back and, you know, just, you know, like I want to learn about Moxon. There's so much information there about different things throughout the year. So that's another
Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
resource that
Yeah.
I do.
I
into.
watched many years ago, because I have had an interest in this for a long time. But he sat at one of the big universities or something like that in England on a panel talking about it and talking about publishing the book and stuff like that. It was a good interview. I highly recommend. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'll have to dig it out and share it on my page. But yeah, it's a good
Yes.
one.
I wanted to go through the sites we had left on the webpage before we move forward. There's also the current, like you mentioned before, the current legal action. So you actually have the PDF of the original document. So it's not lies, it's not fake news. No matter what Scientology says, you have the actual case numbers here that are taken into the actual existing cases.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you have the actual PDF, because I have the PDF also if you need any of that for all the current cases.
Yeah,
because that's what we need to push right now is the cases. Like that is our strongest. It's asking the city to stand down until these cases are adjudicated. LAFD, LAPD, you should not be, you know, cozying up or doing, they shouldn't even have them on their CPABs or anything like that until these cases are adjudicated. These are very serious allegations.
Absolutely.
So this is our strongest suit.
Just to take from Valerie Haney's case, the false imprisonment, kidnapping, stalking, human trafficking. It's serious crimes we're talking about here, and it is actual cases. Of course, they are still ongoing, but I would say there's no smoke without fire
Yeah.
in this case.
Especially, yeah, and the child bride stuff, like, because
Mm,
then it's connected to James Richardson, who had his own child bride, and he's on the religious, clergy council of LAPD. And with all these cases out there where they're saying, hey, there's a problem with this,
mm,
child bride, and here's another one, right? You said, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. They should be looking into that before they're subjecting their young cadets. Cadets are like the high school students who, it's not like real police cadets, like they're going into the academy. These are high school kids, and they do actually, LAPD does such a good job with these cadets that most of these kids never grow up to be cops. They actually go to college and get really good careers. But I wouldn't want this guy where an underage girl was running away and he ran and grabbed her back and coerced the mom to let him marry her. I wouldn't want him around my teenage. I wouldn't let my kids join the Hollywood cadet program knowing he's around. Just
No.
absolutely.
And I mean, what you're going back to is years and years and years of them presenting as a great entity for a great resource. Like, look at the old sheriff, Lee, what's his face?
Paco.
Yeah,
He's in
he
prison.
he promoted Narcanon and Criminon to judges and lawyers in cases in LA. He was a big shill of Scientology, so there's years and years of them being embedded in law enforcement in these states. The AG of Florida wrote a letter on behalf of Scientology to admonish the Clearwater City Council of their behavior towards Scientology, and has accepted funds from Scientology to, fund their programs. But currently are fighting against predators and trying to pass laws in Florida, along with, James Whitmire is the AG, and Governor Ron Need High Heel Shoes DeSantis. They're trying to promote predatory laws to really punish these people, but accept Scientology money on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So
I think on the Baxter and Paris case, and that's out of Florida, I believe there was a current decision from the judge saying that arbitration was illegal.
oh, really? To look that up.
And so I think, just little old me thinks that should be highlighted in the Haney case.
Absolutely.
And of course, the Jane Doe case, it was thrown out because arbitration cannot be used in sexual crimes.
Right. It may not be a precedent unless it's a federal case, but it still can be used as, that's what we need to get it to, where we start getting a precedent established that arbitration needs to go. I 100% agree with you. And then we need people who are, Mark Bunker, like we need people who are willing to go and get into politics and try to get these changes. So anybody in Florida, anyone and who's not in Florida, like I'm sorry, I'm going to put a shameless plug to help his campaign, because he survived the first round. And so he's in the running, for the November, and he's up against people with a lot of money, because he's doing grassroots. He's not taking the big PAC money. So it makes it harder. So he really needs our support, whether it's financial, whether it's just getting the word out, whatever it is. Because
big shit
like Mark Bunker.
Big shout out to Mark Bunker. Kelly, if you have any links or anything like that for Mark Bunker, share them with Miriam. I know he has a PayPal or something like that. It's not connected to, because they're not legally allowed to accept political things from outside of the country and stuff like that. So we can help, support his other activities that he needs to do towards his campaign outside of that. Mark Bunker was one of my many resources back in the day, along with German news, that I gathered a whole bunch of information and saw what Scientology, truly is, along with a whole bunch of British television documentaries,
Yeah. And we are fully behind Mark Bunker and anyone running for any kind of city council, other kind of political position who is just willing to hear us. So if you have local election, I think it would be great to, send them a few documents, ask a few questions. Are you aware of this? Especially if there's an active Scientology location in your state or in your city.
Right.
Yeah.
And since we're on the topic of Florida, Save the Garden.
Yes. I
Yeah.
was going to say that next. Yeah, Save the Garden, very important. They need to collect all these signatures because, right, the first batch, a bunch of them got thrown away. So they're starting from scratch. So there's a lot of opposition that they're up against, and we need to back them up as well. And because it's really combined, it's really, you help one, you're helping, you help the other. This is really standing up against the Scientology expansionism in Clearwater, and we need to stand behind that.
Yeah, it's great to see that they are united in Clearwater at the moment for this cause. Not only the city council election with Mark Bunker, but also Save the Garden movement. It's amazing to see the collaboration. And actually, they have collected the signatures already. Unfortunately, there was too many invalid signatures, but still it shows what the community thinks about Scientology, their presence and their urge to control whatever happens in the downtown Clearwater.
Yep. So the fight continues, and we have to join in that fight because it's our fight too, just like, and vice versa. What happens in LA, it's important to Florida. What happens in Florida is important to LA and any other. Great Britain, it's all connected because it's all the same organization. They don't change because of what state they're in. They're very coordinated,
Totally. And to Mark Bunker, I think you are able to send a PayPal and Save the Garden movement. You are able to support anywhere in the world. So that does not have any kind of restrictions.
Yeah. Sign up to get the signatures. They need the signatures.
Yeah. Kelly is saying that Mark's link is down for momentarily. But she says there's some things happening for Mark, starting with a Facebook group for volunteers from all over the world, I assume.
Fantastic.
Yes. And
just the years of information and all his films that he's managed to put digital, covering everything and showing the behaviors and the methods that are still used to this day to intimidate and harass anybody who's trying to be vocal about abuses, where I don't think they realize that at the end of the day, he is such a wonderful human being who has a lot of support all over the world. It's not just a guy in Florida. And I hope he realizes that too.
Yeah, but he did great for not having getting the other guy has all this money, and the fact that he did so well, it's a testament to who he is, and that can carry him over the top at the end of the day because he has the experience. He was on that council before. He, as a voice, so it's hopefully everyone will rally. Yeah. We know it's Scientology. We need to get the voters out because we know Scientology will get their voters out. And we know who they're going to support, but we just need to get everyone in, to go support Mark, not the other person.
Yep.
Absolutely. And as I've understood, Scientology actually it's a vast minority in Clearwater, so they will never be able to win on just their votes.
Yeah, they have to pay a whole bunch of people off, I think.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And they're all going to vote for whoever Miscavige wants. That is sad. They can't vote for who they want to. They're going to have to vote for who,
who's dictating.
David Miscavige.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So should we have a little conversation about what are we going to do now moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
for the two of you.
yeah, like
Yeah.
like I
No
was
pressure.
saying, any information that if you're aware of anyone who is a victim of Scientology who wants to share their story with the FBI, with their local law enforcement to try and get something done, send them the website. Get them to email if they're not sure about what to do, and I will put them in touch with Mona, and Mona can put them in touch with anything outside of that. The resources built to help people. And I would recommend, if they're saying I just need somebody to try and help me get out of here, I would just recommend the Aftermath Foundation to them, right? But if they're looking to file criminal reports and stuff like that, this is what I'm going to do. And like I said, if in your country or in your state or I think country, if there's links to books, send them to me. And I'm going to put a publications page, and I will put individual country links to the books.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can promise that I may not be the most knowledgeable, but I am the bestest hand holder ever. So I'll hold your hand and we'll walk together with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't know the info, she will find it. That I can tell you, and she will figure it out. And
Yeah.
she's
Yeah,
and
understanding herself right now.
And let's
definitely-
gather more resources too. If there's resources in your country for people who are harmed by an organization, like I said, currently it's set up purely for the US because they've got human trafficking laws and stuff like that to do with Florida and such. But if in your country you know of organizations and law enforcement that are actually currently dealing with situations like this, share it with me. I will put these links on the website.
Yeah, I will provide. I also have, if anyone is in Denmark being victim of human trafficking, I also have personal contacts to the organization that can support. But I will provide that information. And yeah, we have so much material, like we've been talking with Audit, that we need to focus on the crimes and on the ongoing legalities with against Scientology. That
Yeah.
should be enough to, first of all, encourage the authorities not to work together with them. And I don't know if all of you have noticed, but when I go on protest, I have a big banner where I actually have mentioned some of these points that are are being handled in the civil or criminal justice system at the moment. And I have a link to your site. And I think it's great to point out to active Scientologists that this is happening, because I think this is one of their best kept secret inside Scientology, that they do not want their members to know.
Yep.
Is the legal processes, because they are facts, and facts do not lie. We can talk, until our face is red about the abuses and things happening here and there, but this is black on white.
But like you say, Miriam, they don't want them to see it because they've been raised. Many of them are second and third generation Scientologists who are just raised in it from family, and to them it's normal.
Mm.
And
David
Miscabage's biggest benefit he has is time.
Mm.
Is that they like to play the waiting game, whether it's through political processes or councils changing out, no matter what it is. And we have on our side, it's like the laws that have changed in Florida, the reporting acts down in Florida. I know California has changed too, but everybody is a mandated reporter down in Florida now.
Yeah.
We have that on our side. We just need to know how to now use it.
Yes.
And the human trafficking is such a big topic these days. It's huge. And I think a lot of people, they weren't really connecting the dots when it comes to human trafficking with Scientology, labor trafficking, R1 visa abuse, what they can and can't do. Like these are whole avenues that we can really investigate and push forward. And thankfully now we have, we have this wonderful website that it can follow that journey and follow where it all leads and what's important and what we need to know. So grateful to you, Haggis, for doing that.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
can grow. It can grow to become something more, but currently it's just set up for those who were abused physically, mentally, as children, as young adults. And yet, like, there's other crimes like elder abuse and such. But that wasn't really the focus that we built it on. As much as I want to expand it, currently we just have to try and build the cases for those young victims and let them know that there's hope.
Mhm. And trafficking may be one of the best ways. I mean, yes, the sexual abuse, but I don't know. There's a lot to look into with the trafficking and these people. They move them all around and
Yeah,
stuff, and the
because
labor
you
abuse.
cannot traffic children from state to state in the U.S. Look at the Mormon case right now with that one fella that Dr. Christine, her Netflix story is about, because that was children who were being trafficked across state lines.
Yep.
And that's what Scientology's been doing for years and
Yep.
years.
And everyone turns a blind eye, but no, not anymore. Sorry, Osa, the gig is up.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
world is watching and learning.
Yeah, there's a vast community of we're just some faces of a very larger picture of activists and advocates for child abuse and victims of sexual predatory behavior against children. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, they're not taking it anymore.
Absolutely.
I know.
Let's-
Don't make me start singing.
There's a question here from Tessie Tess to Audit asking, did you see the update about the person that was held at Blue Building when allegedly CA was recording? Is there something new on this case?
Well, there was, I know what, yesterday or the day, I think the day before, another person was screaming, but it wasn't filmed. But there was another person really screaming as well. And so I think it happened too quickly for any kind of police response. Although I see that the police responded because I saw that Angry Gay Pope was out there, I believe in May, and the cops were all coming and, and acting like typical. But we're sick of that. We need to get the police out there for these screams and these shouts and these messages in the windows of help, and really we need to help LAPD redirect their focus and stop worrying about protesters and start worrying
Yes.
about the victims inside the building.
Yes, I actually managed to see. I haven't seen much, but I saw that video today, and they seem to be still working with Scientology in that sense that Angry Gay Pope had very valid concerns regarding the missing identification of the person, and police officers were not taking any action and giving him a warning, actually.
Yeah,
I know that was crazy, and that's the stuff we need to keep bringing up to the police commission, because I have several, sustained complaints against OpSync with not having patches, just not having patches. OpSync it was under the verge of losing its ability to even have their guard license, and it's just they said if there's one more complaint. So I don't know if that's why OpSync's not there anymore. I don't know, but they have to identify. They don't have to show the public their guard card from what but they had to be able to show it to the police. So if the police were called, those officers should have made sure that he had his guard card and that it's current. And he has to have patches. That's just it. You have to have something identifying you as a security and your company's name.
Yeah.
So this is how you fight back, little ways, just being
absolutely.
observant.
And it is bearing fruit, even though it might sometimes feel like it's not. Marie is asking, could we invite people from the councils, neighborhood councils, hospital, and have a morning tea at at the Big Blue for them to see themselves what is going on around the
We
community?
could. Say,
Yeah.
you know, actually, why
Yeah.
not? We could.
Yeah.
It's not
And I have
illegal.
understood that some people, some unnamed people, have also been walking around there and checking the
They
area
have.
themselves. Yeah.
They come to me, they're like, can you mute whatever? It's like, oh yeah, like I've had, I'll just say commissioners and ranked officers say report back and say that yes, they've been intimidated, that they didn't know who they were and they were being intimidated against, and they know exactly what we're talking about, that we are not lying. So
Yes.
that's why
So,
I tell them to get back. They are not allowed to be patrolling that street. It is a public street. They do not have a
yes.
contract with the city. They can only patrol their private property, not the side. And even the cop was, you heard the cop on the Andrew Gay Pope saying, does the sidewalk belong to Scientology? He was confused. Did that belong? And then, I was surprised. I think even Parker said, you didn't know that's public. But that's just showing you, they're still not educated on to who owns what. It is public. So stay off. They need to stay off of the public. I mean, it's not like they can't walk or ride on it, but they can't be patrolling it. They don't have a
Yeah.
contract. If they had a contract, they would have to be paid full wages. So I always tell them, hey, I'm here fighting for your wages. I'm your labor
Yeah.
attorney worker, whatever. Not attorney, you know what I mean? I'm here to try to get you paid, guys, because, and that's part of it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other day, Lara and Dan were out there, and Lara was saying that, get away, you security guy. You don't have a contract to be exactly what we just said. So she was repeating that.
it was
saying,
cathartic. I loved saying that. It's like,
You're so good.
yes.
No, I'll need to check that as well.
It was
I
so
missed out.
good.
It was so good. It was really good. I haven't been able to watch many streams lately. I've just been so busy, but that was one
Those
that
are
I
worth a
caught the other
watch,
day,
yeah.
and I was like, "Yep, you go, girl. You
That
go."
was from Tuesday. So if anyone wants to go watch it, definitely watch. You could, even if you just scroll up to where she was at the Big Blue, it's definitely worth watching because you're going to be cheering her on and be like, yes. And she did it. It was just, then she met a neighbor and stuff, like different people. So it's one,
Yeah,
it's
it was
great.
really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, she shut down the test center in about 2 seconds. She just
Yeah.
showed up.
And I was there. It's funny because I didn't go live because I had to go past the test center on Tuesday, and I saw them out there recruiting, and I'm yelling across the street, do I have to come across there? Like, shut it down. And they wouldn't. They just say, act like you're going to make me come over there, aren't you? And yeah, as soon as I come out across the street and go up, they shut it down. I need to clip it because I did film it, but I wasn't live. And so I'm going to have to clip it. And then she came later and they were out. And I'm like, oh, maybe we could have all met up, but we didn't coordinate. After we split ways after the
And I have
meetings.
to tell you, Audit and Lara have made incredible strides on becoming more relatable with the officers, with the chief of police. And I know you're listening, Osa, so suck it, whatever.
Yes.
But you know what? A lot of those officers, they understand. So some of them still don't know because they're just old school and maybe they think the road still is theirs, but whatever. But behind the scenes, they don't like you, Osa. They don't like you, Scientology. They are so against you. It's not even funny. So those that are kind of wondering, oh, should I tell the police? Please, come on. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, things will go maybe slowly at first because they have to deal with lawyers and what they can do, what they can't do. But don't let that distract you. They are listening, and they are. Mona's right.
Absolutely. And the recruitment at the information center has been diminished into a ridiculous cat and mouse game that has no kind of, significance for Scientology anymore, because they are, they had to invest on alarms so that, whenever a protester is coming by, they have to run to the door. They're doing drills over there. So I don't think they can actually use time on focusing to get people in there. They are too worried about someone coming to shut them down at any second.
And LAPD, I'm going to give this shout out here too, where credits to, they did not show up to their national night out at Scientology. Unfortunately, LAFD did. But you know what we're discussing? We went to the fire commission meeting, and when I announced that to the chief, his eyes got big, and he wrote it down because I think he was shocked. Like they have to be worried about, whether lawsuits and stuff like that. So I have a feeling, once LAFD really realizes how they were deceived into thinking that was a real legit, because it's not. I have the proof. They do not have permission, and they're upset about them using their trademark without permission. So these are the things that hopefully will help LAFD to divorce themselves until the cases. We're trying to do it just for the cases, but even this stuff, that fact that they would hijack the street and this entity, this national night out without permission.
But the point you're making there, Audit, is a good one, because when Andrea and Jeff and the people that helped them out started contacting folk about the Drug-Free World program and all the police badges on the bottom of the screen on the website, and they had no association with them at all. So all of those badges disappeared from the Drug-Free World website because they were illegally using it as advertising that they're a safe space, and they're not. We did the same in Canada. We reached out to a bunch of police forces who had them on their community help pages and pointed out to them that there's human trafficking and child sexual abuse cases against Scientology, and Scientology is a drug-free world. Truth about drugs. It's Scientology. And they're like, bye.
Same thing with LAUSD. They said, no, we don't want this stuff in our schools. And they don't.
Yeah.
So, Mona, how are we going to get you back on the call team and back on the meetings, back streaming?
Well, that's a great question.
She's our backstreet girl.
Right. I need to get my IRL back to where it needs to be, just with all of the confusion and trying to move and trying to get everything ready. And I'm going to just be really honest here, is that all of this infighting and backstabbing and bullshit that's been going on the last year or so has really forced me to think of what's important. And I don't have the capacity. I don't have the mental capacity or the emotional capacity to deal with all that bullshit. Excuse my language. So I'm doing what I need to do on the backside, but I'm ready to be a team of people that want to advocate and find justice. And until we have that, I'm not ready to jump into getting my head slaughtered anytime I get on. So to me, that's not where I don't have the old story about the spoons. I don't have enough spoons to go around. So if I need to do this, I'll do this, but I'm not ready to join that other fight.
Yes, I understand. But then, that's why we kind of started this podcast in the first place, to talk about the actual topic on hand. So you will just need to be a regular commentator on our podcast.
That's why I've
drag
been
you
on,
on
I
here.
think 4 out of the 7, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. And I don't mind that whatsoever, because I love being a part of a group of warriors that just want to see justice and advocacy. I love being a part of other thinkers. And remember, when Mona says, oh, it would be fun, either jump in the car, let's go, or run, because we're probably going to get arrested at some point. But I love working together. I love putting our brains together.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't like the negative part of it.
Yeah.
That's why we had to just ignore, and like as if they have any significance. They don't. It's just we're going to just keep on doing what we need to do, and that's it. Not to give that. I don't even want to give them any
exactly
any oxygen whatsoever. They don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Is that me beeping?
I think it's a audit. It's a Larman. We agreed to go on for hour and a half, and time is up. I'm just going to just put up on the screen here because Kathy
Oh, thank you,
donated 5
Kathy.
audit delay memberships.
Are you supposed to be at work? I have to
Yeah,
ask.
she was driving.
Love
She was
Kathy. Thank you so
driving.
much.
And AC gifted 5 memberships to me. Thank you so much for the
Awesome,
support.
Easy. Thank you.
And Irish Mart has been Audit LA member for 20 months.
Thank you,
So,
my Irish.
thank you so much. Supervising in the background that we stay on topic.
Our
And we
favorite,
stick to the
our
time.
favorite gobshite. Our favorite gobshite.
So yeah, I want to thank both of you and Audit for joining today. And
Thank you for highlighting important issues.
absolutely. And anyone with any kind of platform, share the page that Haggis has created. I mean, this is Haggis is not a web designer by profession. This is purely out of the goodness of her heart and trying to give resources
Yeah,
to
no,
to the
I'm a
people.
professional tap dancer. Okay.
Fold me because it's way more than I could do. I couldn't do any of it. It looks so professional. It is professional, and I'm very proud of it. We're proud of it. And then if there's and that's just it. It is top notch. We're very happy to have it. So thank you
Yes.
for being willing, and we're going to celebrate you for doing it because it's an amazing
Yes.
gift to us. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
And
our
Mona.
It's
And
our
Mona
web.
working in the back
Yeah.
to make this collaboration with the legal company possible, and them for opening the doors to the people that have been victims of Scientology.
Yeah.
Donna is shouting out here, please go and support Mark Bunker. Absolutely. Go and give a comment, go and give a like to his latest video where he's announcing that he got to the second round of the election. He's still on the run. Go and check out Victims Have Voices. Go and check out Mona's and Haggis's channels. I think they were also shared in the chat before. And we hope to see Haggis also protesting soon, before it gets too cold in Toronto.
Yeah.
And
I gotta organize my girls. Yep.
And to our lovely audience, and please like and subscribe to everyone's channels. Also, the people mentioned here, Save the Garden, even have their own YouTube site. So please go and check that out.
Yeah.
And
Clearwater, anybody in Clearwater, if you have family or friends in Clearwater, introduce them to the Save the Garden website and show them as much support. Get them to, fill out the petition. If they are legally registered voters down in Clearwater, please do that.
Yes. And thank you to our moderators. Thanks to Iris, Peter, everyone who's been here for us today. And we're going to be back next week with something new again. But continue supporting Audit's work. Go and hype this live. And that's the way we are going to end Scientology abuses. I think that was specifically designed to
I made this shirt myself. I made this myself. I wrote this with a paint pen. Okay. Oh, and on the back it's got this.
Yes, the number.
So it's got the phone number.
Yes,
I love it. And I want to thank you with this beeping, as I have to, I want to thank everyone. I just appreciate all of you. I say this every time, you guys are the wind beneath our wings, for everybody doing the heavy lifting, and all those who are supporting, and in any way that you do, just commenting and being there we know that you're with us. And I thank you for everything. And then I'm going to mute you because I'm beeping.
Yes. I think it's some kind of fire alarm issue, but any last words, Mona and Haggis, until we see again?
Thank you so much for hosting this podcast, Miriam, and my Audit LA. Thank you so much for doing this, you guys. It's been a blessing to to listen to you guys every week, and you're bringing real subjects and real matters to light. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
And thank
joining
you,
us.
Haggis. Thank you, Haggis.
Thank you, Mona. I love you, babes.
Loved you too,
Okay.
babes.
Yeah.
So
Good to
stick around.
hear
I'm
that.
going to end the stream now. Love you all, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
You watched Double Degraded with Audit LA and Miriam. Double Degraded with Audit LA and Miriam. Your weekly report, the story stated, shining a light where the dark's been dim. Every voice that has been muted finds a way to break the bubble. Every truth that was disputed now is causing double trouble. Double the truth, double the trouble. Turn it up loud, let it burst like a bubble. Week after week, we uncover the faded. Welcome, welcome to Double Degraded.